Hey everyone, it's Michelle Bell. Welcome to our team call. So we're going to wait just a minute. I'm going to turn my camera off, but just stay put. Give me just a minute. We're having some technical issues getting on. So I'm just going to help our three other presenters hop on really quick. So hang out for a minute and then we'll get started.
It worked. I'm trying to look presentable because it's been a crazy day today.
Oh, good. Yay. Okay, Holly got on. Holly, if you want to mute your screen, and then I'll check with Crystal and Lori once we get started. So, all right, well, we'll get started. Welcome, you guys, to our team call. I'm sorry for the late notice. I went back and forth. Yesterday, I was thinking we need to have a team call. And I thought, well, there's so many other teams doing calls. Maybe I could just share their great information. But I think we really do need a team call. So first thing I wanted to do is recognize our top sellers. So I'm going to pull up, and then I'll be posting these on our team Facebook group. And then let me just go over what's going to happen tonight. So I've invited 3 of our superstar sellers to get on and share their hot tips with you. So whether you are seasoned in the business and you want to pick up a few extra tips, or whether you're just getting started and you're struggling with finding sales, grab a notebook, grab a pen, take some notes, because this is going to be really typically always have over $1,000 a month. You'll hear some of their numbers. So let me tell you some of these numbers, ladies. So our top sales out of our entire team last month, our #1 seller was Lori Michalski, and we have her on tonight. You guys, she sold over $4,500 in PRS just last month alone. Crystal Jones was second. Way to go, Crystal. She's also on tonight. She sold over 4,300 PRS last month. In third place is Jessica. You know, Jessica, I don't know if I actually have ever said your last name. Plow. I'm totally butchering that, I'm sure. You'll have to tell me next weekend how to say it. Jessica is third place with just over 3,700 PRS. Brianna Surreal, 3,000 PRS. Amy Azure, 2,600 PRS. Janelle Green, 2,400 PRS. Kamini Sanatang, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, about 2,300 PRS. Jasmine Pakura had 1,900, actually almost 2,000 PRS. Ashley McDonald had about 1,900 PRS, just over 1,900. And Katie Bledsoe also had just over 19 PRS. So that's our top 10 sellers. Our top 10 sponsors, #1, we had Tania Alcantara from Spain, who had 7 presenters that she sponsored. Maria del Carmen Alcantara Galvez, which had 6, also in Spain. Francisca Handy, who actually lives in Utah but was sponsoring in Spain, had 5. Tara Welch, awesome job. Tara had 4. Taylor Nicole had 4 presenters. I don't know who this person is. Shas Beauty, that's the name that comes up, also had 4. Lucy Filizola had 4. Unique Beauty by Jessica had 3. Delilah Ambrose had 3. And Noelia Huertas, I'm going to guess that's it, also had 3. So great job, everybody. And I'll post those on our group so you can recognize them and see their faces and everything. So I'm actually going to turn the time right over to Holly. So I've asked all of them to share about 5 to 7 minutes of their top tips for booking events, whether that's one-on-ones, online parties, home parties. You know, I consider a sales event just getting in front of people. And then also their top tips for getting sales. So Holly, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, can you hear me all right? Okay, perfect. So I have kind of been racking my brain on how to pinpoint some of my tips, because I know, like, with being with Unique for about 2.5 years, things just started to come a little bit more natural. So I was trying to think back of when I was first starting and, you know, really trying to gain an audience and a clientele. and all of that. And I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was a few things. Was one, I never came off desperate. I didn't ever want to make anyone feel like I was always looking for a sell, always looking for someone to join. So I really avoided posting anything like I was challenged to sell, 5 mascaras today, or I was, I'm looking for 7 people to join my team, or who wants to, I want 5 people to host a party. So I really tried to avoid things like that on my timeline because I really never wanted to come off as desperate, or I was always looking for a handout, or I always needed help. My main focus was I wanted this to be something that other people wanted to do, and I wanted that to be my up at the front, is that I was having a ton of fun. I was loving the makeup, and I didn't want to come off as desperate ever. So I kind of tried to avoid things like that. I did in the beginning message a lot of people about hosting a party, because you have to start somewhere, and I did get a lot of no's, but I didn't let that discourage me, because I figured if they say no now, maybe later they'll say yes after they see how much fun I'm having. They're seeing their friends getting hosting rewards, because I post all of, and if you can hear my daughter, I'm so sorry, she's like freaking out that she's not on this video with me. She's like my little partner in crime. But I always, when I was messaging them, I never really was thinking, okay, I hope that they, I don't want them to say no. I was more just thinking, what is going to be the next, what's going to lead them to another. It was kind of like, well, if you've read GoPro, you kind of want to think, just as steps to their next experience. So I was thinking, okay, even if they say no, I think that's planting a seed. That means that they're going to kind of be watching me to see, is this girl really making money? Is this girl really, having successful parties? Do people really do these parties? And so I was taking the no's as just a seed that had been planted, that would somehow in the next, weeks, months, year, we would come back around and I'd be able to ask them again, or they would come to me. And chances are, if you're doing your attraction marketing right, they're the ones that start coming back to you. You just planted that seed by reaching out to them. And as far as sales go, I'm not really one to reach out to people to ask if they want to sell or if they want to buy anything, unless they've shown interest. So when I do when I make a video and I post it, I go through my likes and see who has liked things, and then I write those names down. Some people are super shy, and especially if they're just following you, or they added you as a friend, or you added them as a friend. They're just kind of watching to see what's going on, and they like it. So I'll make a list of the likes from my posts, and if I see someone that's a common liker and not necessarily a commenter, and I haven't messaged her or had any contact with her really outside of her just liking my stuff, I'll start a conversation with her, not about anything. It will just start off with, thank you so much for liking my videos. It means so much to me to have people, enjoying what I'm putting out there. And that's it. And then start getting to know that person. That wall needs to be, knocked down a little bit so that they feel comfortable. But if you go to them right away and ask them if they want to buy something, I personally feel that sometimes that can put a bigger wall up because they feel uncomfortable. And then they don't want to like anything because they're like, oh my gosh, is she going to come back to me and ask me if I want to buy something? So I really believe in attraction marketing.
I don't know what happened. Holly disappeared. Okay, well, let me just see if she'll get on a little bit. But one thing that I liked that I want to just point out what Holly said was how when she first got started, she messaged a lot of people. And especially that she didn't say, I was challenged to sell, or I'm looking for 5 people. I remember I had a lady from another company, like Sensi or something, and she was always posting that kind of stuff on her wall, like, please, can someone please buy from me? I need to win this challenge, or I'm working toward this incentive. And what you really want to come across as, which I know Holly will agree, is that you're already successful and you don't need their sales. You want to help them out. It's not for you that you are getting sales from them. So, all right, Holly, I'll pass it back to you.
I'm so sorry that like right off. I don't even know where I was at, but I think I was at um I think everything that I do with purpose. I'm very strategic. I mean, that makes me sound like I'm crazy and I'm not very much fun, but I feel like I'm always thinking, okay, what is this going to lead to? What is this post going to lead to? Who am I attracting? So anything that I'm sharing, I'm trying to, if you've read the 4 love languages or if you've read any personality books, I really try to make sure every post that I do, at least one of those posts is attractive to one of those types of people. So I think the key to this business is really, showing that you have fun, but also just making sure that you're doing things on purpose and staying positive, even though it sucks when you get people to say no. But I think you have to think of it as planting a seed. Every no that you have is just planting a seed. And sometimes we get a lot of seeds planted and it takes a long time to have them pop up, but those, I can guarantee that as long as you are positive on your news feed, that you don't want to be fake. You don't want to be living the life that everybody, like you never have anything, happen in your life that's not, positive, because that's not realistic, but you need to make sure that you have a positive spin on everything. So for instance, right now, I'm having major insurance problems with my son who has epilepsy. Totally sucks. And I hate the insurance company. And instead of me going on and talking crap about the insurance company, which is something I would really like to do, I can make a post that's kind of talking about my situation so people know that, I do have real life issues, but that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because you want to be relatable, but you also want to be someone that is fun and entertaining to see, where people are looking forward to seeing what you're going to post. And if you go through hard things, they are there to support you, but it has to be done in a very attractive way. It can't be a complaining, venting type of way. I don't know how else to explain that, but I think learning the law of attraction and doing attraction marketing is a huge part of, that's how I have repeat customers. That's how I do get hostesses. And I have dry spells. I've only done, the last 3 months, I think I've done a total of maybe, 8 parties. And I'm one that usually does like 30 parties in a month easily. But everyone kind of goes through dry spells. But I think the thing is, making sure that you're still putting yourself out there. I post a ton of videos. I'm really, really excited about the products all the time. And I think that's pretty much it. I just want my news feed to be a place where people want to come and kind of see, what's going on, what's happening. I don't feel like I want it to be something that they're coming on to see what I'm selling. But it's just really like they want to be a part of my life, which is one reason why I love live videos right now, is because people can really, there's something strange about, I don't know, people want to see real life people. They want to see, maybe you're in a room and you haven't folded all of your laundry, like, oh yeah, I'm like that too. Or your kids are running around in their underwear in the background. They can relate to those things. And I think that that's a good thing. I think something that I've had to learn is to not always have to come off, as the perfect person that does perfect makeup all the time. But you just want to be able to make sure that you're adding value to other people's lives. And I think always, thinking a little bit ahead, what is this post going to lead to? What is this video going to lead to? What is this, me coming to someone and messaging them, what's that going to lead to? So it's about building relationships.
Awesome. Thanks, Holly. Hey, you guys that are on the call, go ahead and comment something that you took away from Holly's. I mentioned we were going to do a fun giveaway. So you don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to pick from one of the comments. So comment, please, on something that you took away from Holly's, or something that you liked or related to. And then we're going to turn it over to Crystal Jones.
Sorry, I was actually messaging a lady back who was talking to me about joining. So I was like, gotta message her back real quick. So when Michelle first asked me to do this call, and she said, okay, we're going to do a booking blitz, Michelle knows I am not the best at online parties. I'm just going to, elephant in the room at the exact moment, Holly knows this too, I suck at online parties. I am not very good at them. I don't do them. I think the last time I did an online party was 3 or 4 months ago. So elephant in the room, that's me. But as Michelle pointed out, I did do over $4,000 PRS last month. And the reason why that I did $4,000 PRS last month is because I worked. I worked as hard as I possibly can. I guess I'm one of the unusual people that can actually do that without doing online parties. Now, with that being said, I do not recommend by any means necessary saying give up online parties, because there are many times that I actually kick myself in the butt every month where I'm like, man, I did $4,000 without online parties. Just think of how much I could have done with an online party. So I kick myself all the time for that. However, what I do a lot is I do booths. Holly has actually dubbed me multiple times the booth queen because I do a lot of booths. I do a lot of one-on-ones. I do a lot of home parties. And I like Holly does, I do a lot of posting on Facebook in my VIP group and then on my personal page as well. Now, when I say I do booths, I will be the first one to tell you booths do cost money. And when you're at that booth, don't expect to actually, sell in product what you actually are paying for that booth. How I actually make money off the booths are I set up one-on-ones with people, and every time I set up a one-on-one, I probably sell just from that one-on-one anywhere between about $100 to about $300 in sales every one-on-one I do. I had 15 one-on-ones last month, which was a lot of my sales last month. And then I also follow up with people from those booths as well. So if they did happen to buy a mascara, I will follow up with them and say, hey, is there anything that you liked in the catalog, or is there anything that you want to try out? I fortunately live in an area where tourism is a huge thing here. So when I do booths, we get a lot of people that come in from a lot of various areas. So it's not just like local people that I'm selling to. So like I said, my biggest thing for the 4,000 was one-on-ones. I talk to people, I message people. Like Holly, I don't post any of the. I've been challenged to sell 5 mascaras. I don't like coming across desperate. When I do my live videos, you won't really hear me say you need to buy this. So sorry. My dogs go crazy. Somebody walks past the house and my dogs go crazy. I'm so sorry. Joey! So sorry. So, Joey, quiet. Thank you. So, I don't do any of that. I don't post a whole lot of that. I will do live videos, and I will just show them how I do makeup. I will do videos showing people how I apply, showing it how it applies to my skin, like the foundation. I have a ginormous zit on my chin today, and I did a live video and put the foundation over it, the foundation and concealer, and ended up selling a couple of foundations off of that today. I personally hand deliver any orders that I actually come in as well. So if I get any local orders, I invoice them through PayPal, and then I will actually hand deliver it to them and chat with them. I will sit there and chat with my customers. So a good example of that is I actually had a delivery today where I delivered a lady a foundation, and in the process of sitting there and chatting, we were talking about, because she's over 50, we were talking about how I don't have a lot of customers that are over 50 and how much she loves the makeup, and she was like, well, how about I just do a party for you? So I ended up scheduling an in-home party with her for ladies of her age group, so because she wanted these ladies to know about it. And then before I walked away, she ended up saying, okay, I need this as a refill, and this is a refill, and this is a refill as well. I forgot to tell you earlier. So by going and delivering one foundation to her, I actually ended up coming back with more sales off of it and a home party. So, like I said, one of the things that I do is I constantly talk. I am a talker, as you can tell on this. I love to talk. Sometimes you can't get me to shut up, and that's what I talk about. If somebody walks up to me, like a friend maybe that I haven't seen in a while locally, and they walk up to me like, hi, haven't seen you in a while. What have you been doing? One of the first things out of my mouth is, well, I've been busy with my business. Oh, really? What do you do? I get paid to play with makeup. And they're like, what? So that's another thing that, you know, I do. If somebody messages me on Facebook, a friend requests me on Facebook that I haven't seen in a while. No, honey. If sorry, my daughter's here too, like Holly's. If I get a message from a friend that I haven't seen in a while, a friend request from a lady I haven't seen in a while, I will message her and ask her how she's doing. When she responds back, I'm doing good, how are you? I will message her that way as well. I don't ever say to them, do you want to sell? Do you want to join? Do you want to do any of this? I will just talk with them, and that's really all that I will do. One of the things that as well that I was telling Michelle earlier today is if there's one huge big piece of advice that I can give anybody, and I do mean anybody who's struggling, who's maybe new in the business, it's persist, push through, because it does pay off in the end. When a year ago I did half of what I have done this year so far. Like I went back and looked at my numbers, and I've done already half of what I did this year already just in this first half of the year. And the year before that was half of the year before. So if there's one big, huge piece of advice that I can give, it is push through. Don't stop talking. You will come across hills and valleys in this business, but it's not because people don't want to hear what you're saying. It's like Holly said, it's they're watching you. They are watching what you're doing. And just when you think that nobody's interested in what you're doing and nobody cares about what you're doing and nobody wants to hear what you have to say, is exactly the point in time where you're going to get messages after messages after messages, or people calling you, or people saying, hey, I like what you're doing. How do I do this? So persistence is a huge, huge thing in my business and my biggest secret. So I chatted for a long time, so sorry.
Oh, that was great. So I had a couple questions that came in. Cindy asked, Crystal, do you do your live videos on your VIP group or on your timeline? And then also, I wanted to ask you, what do you feel like your average one-on-one is in sales?
I post on my personal timeline, so I don't. I have gone live in my VIP group a couple of times. When the sculpting kit came out, I actually went live in my VIP group first as kind of a special to my VIPs. I feel like, and this is just the way that I feel about my VIP group, I feel that my VIP group is something exactly what it's supposed to sound like. It's for you know, people that are my customers, and I'm going to give them the information first. So when the sculpting kit came in, I did a live video in there right away instead of on my live time feed or my timeline for the sculpting kit. So stuff like that I will do in my VIP group. But if I'm just like getting ready every day, or it's just a live, you know, feed, I will do it on my timeline. I may share it into my VIP group. I don't normally. And so that's kind of how I do that. For one-on-ones, the average, I sell no less than $100 on each one-on-one. And the reason for that is because of the free shipping. So if I go over to somebody and they're like, okay, I want the foundation brush and I want the foundation, then I'll say, okay, awesome. Well, do you realize that you can get free shipping if you just add on like one more thing or two more things? So an average that I probably sell is anywhere between, like I said, between about $100 and $300. But on average, I probably sell around maybe $125, $150, somewhere around there, just because I really do push that free shipping.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify something really quick? Because I was reading some of the comments, because I can't see them when I'm on, but I could go back and read them on my phone. I think I know I said I don't do the I was challenged to sell 5 mascaras on my timeline. I do think that those challenges are really good to get our teams going and to get excited, but I think that there's a time and a place for them. So if I have a challenge that I'm presenting to my team, obviously I'm going to do it too. And I do like to do, sell 5 sculpting kits this, this month or whatever, whatever it was. I feel like the people that you're going to go to talk about like that are going to be your really loyal customers, and let them know that you want to win a challenge, your family members, people that you have a really good relationship built up with, who are loyal to you and want to help support you. I just don't think I feel like every time if I have posted that in the past, because I am guilty of it, this is why I don't believe in them on your timeline, is because not everyone knows you yet. You're constantly adding new people to your timeline, as a friend. People don't know anything about you sometimes, and that's the first thing that they're going to see, or one of the first things they're going to see. To them, they don't have a relationship with me to know that I'm not a desperate person, that I'm just doing this because I want to support my team and do it with them and all of that. So I do think that those challenges do work. I just think that letting our teams know how to use those challenges, I think is a better way of doing it. So I just want to clarify so that people don't think, oh, I don't want to challenge my team anymore to do things like that. That's not what I mean, because I still do that. I just make sure I tell them, here's the best way to utilize this challenge, and give them examples. Okay, that's all.
Just to add on that as well, Holly and I actually run a training group together, the two of us together, and we do those challenges all the time in our training group. I think we just did one 2 months ago, and we do the challenges. We just don't encourage people to go and put them on their timelines and say, hey, I've been challenged.
I think with everything too, wording really makes a difference. So you could be basically saying the same thing as somebody else, but the way you word it is going to make it come across differently. And that's something to keep in mind as you're posting, Just like what Holly was saying about saying things that are positive. I'll give you 2 examples. Let's say you had, this is kind of a drastic example, but maybe I'll do a couple. Let's say, one of your family members got in an accident or something. You could go off on Facebook, and I have seen this, where people start swearing, and, I don't know how swear words have become so popular, but they start swearing on Facebook and saying all this trash, or somebody doesn't like them, and, whatever. They start going off, Or you could say, oh, I'm so blessed that my family member was okay, or, man, these days are rough, but I'm so, I'm happy that I get to spend time. Whatever, or my twins are driving me crazy today, but we got to do this. So you can always spin something in a positive way. In addition to what Holly said about Facebook, if you're swearing on Facebook, you're going to drive a whole lot of people away. I've actually been in front of people even on our team because I don't want to see it. So you have to realize, if you're doing a business on social media and you want to benefit from social media, you have to kind of be a little bit politically correct. I'm not saying that you can't say anything about a politician, and you can't say anything about a sensitive topic that's coming up, in society. But just realize everything you do has an impact on somebody else. And so when you place a strong opinion on this, you're going to offend people that are on the opposite polarizing option, and that's just how it is. So you just have to know that. So I have Lori, apparently maybe something happened. She wasn't able to get on. So I'm going to share some things that I do. I'm really big into numbers, and so one thing, and I like statistics, and if you guys have listened to like any call I've ever done, you know that about me. The reason I like statistics is because I feel like that gives me power, because I can control things. So I want to point out one statistic. So we actually put out a challenge for our team just today or yesterday to do 10 one-on-ones, okay? 10 one-on-ones, get in front of people, right? That's the challenge to put out. Now, Crystal just told you her average one-on-one is $100. So we do math. 10 one-on-ones, $100, that's 1,000 PRS. So I know if I do 10 one-on-ones my sales are going to be, you know, around 1,000. Now, her average might be higher because she's been doing more, so she knows how to talk to people. Just like what she said, she upsells so that they can get the free shipping, or she mentions it, you know, by the way, if you only do $20 more, you get free shipping. She's learned to do those kinds of things. So your average is going to, you know, maybe a little different from her. But still, if you do 10 one-on-ones, you will get sales. Like, I feel like it's impossible to not have sales with one-on-ones. Same thing with home parties. If you do home parties, you will have sales. Now, yes, you could have one that's a total bomb, but the average home party is $500. Okay, it's $500 in sales. That's 2 home parties, $1,000. If you have one that's a bust, do a second one, and then you have another one. One-on-ones, the way that you book, hey Cindy, how to book one-on-ones. So reach out to the people that are local to you. One thing that I did actually when I first got started, so I knew that, let me back up. When you're starting a new business, so some of you are brand new, or maybe you're in a slump, or maybe you're in that cycle. So Holly talked about how everyone has ups and downs. This business goes in cycles. So you have months where you have people coming to you and be like, I want to buy. And you have months where it's like crickets. I have those. Holly has those. Crystal has those. We all have those. So when you're getting started with a new business, you have to realize, you know, it's just like if you were setting up a salon or a boutique, like nobody knows about what you're doing. You have to put in a lot of effort at the beginning to get things going, get that momentum going. Crystal and I were talking before about how our first year we really didn't have a lot of repeat orders, but now almost a lot of my orders, I can easily get $500 in orders just from repeat customers. Now that's 2.5 years into the business. So what did I do when I first got started? I knew I needed to get in front of people. So I booked one-on-ones. I had open houses at my house. Like every other weekend I had an open house. And I basically might have invited the same people over and over again, but I figured if they didn't come to the first one, then they could come to the second one. For one-on-ones, I just called up friends, messaged friends that I knew were local to me and said, hey, I just got this makeup kit in. I'd love your opinion on the products and see what you think. One of my very first one-on-one was with my good friend Lisa Howard, who's from my last business, and I said, hey, I just started this. Want you to check it out. I actually don't remember the exact wording, but I'm sure it was something like that. Why don't you check it out? I'd love to come over. What day works better for you, Tuesday or Thursday? So I've learned not to ask yes or no questions. I always ask choice questions. Hey, I've got Tuesday open or Wednesday morning. Which works better for you? So those are some things that you learn as you watch videos and listen to how other people talk, and you change the wording that you're using a little bit. Instead of saying, hey, would you like to get together? That's a yes or no question. Say, hey, would you like to get together on Tuesday or Thursday? Bam. You guys will book more one-on-ones just by changing that little thing. So, and then we just went there. And Lisa was my first one-on-one, ended up in a collection sale. She split it with her and her mom. 4 months later, Lisa ended up joining, and she's one of my orange status leaders on our team. So one-on-ones, awesome, do that. Tips for doing that in a new area. So I've been doing direct sales for 8 years now, and in that 8 years, we've lived in Vegas, Sacramento, then Phoenix, and then Colorado. So I've had to kind of, you know, my other business was not on social media, so I basically started over every time I moved, and that started with conversations. So when I would go out and about, when I was at the school, Holly and Crystal both mentioned, you know, talking to people. I learned that everyone I did business with got a business card from me, and I don't hand out business cards because I've learned that people will never call you. You're throwing away your business cards if you just start handing them out to everybody. You might get lucky, but if that's your mode of working your business, you're going to have a really long time getting that going. You want to always exchange information. So if you give someone's business card, you get their business card. If you're talking with someone and you say, hey, actually just like what Crystal said was perfect. She said when people, you know, talk to her, she finds a way to work her business into the conversation. And I do the exact same thing. So if I am at the bank and I have sold products right at the bank, I will say, first off, if someone asks you, how are you doing? In any professional business, customer service, they will ask you, how was your day? How are you doing? Don't say, I'm doing good. Okay? Say, oh my gosh, I'm having a fabulous day. My new business is just taking off. And then that's it. Okay? You just want to get them curious. You don't say, oh my gosh, I saw the most amazing mascara. You should buy it. You know, you don't want to you just want to get them curious, because guess what happens? They're going to ask, oh, what do you do? And Sherry Brown did a great video, and she said her response is, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe me. It's so crazy. And of course, they're going to be like, okay, now they really want to know what you do. Or you can say, oh my gosh, I sell the most amazing products. You know, have you ever heard of Unique? So you need to have something that you're going to say every time you meet somebody, just to be able to give them a little glimpse of what you do and have them get more information. If that doesn't come up in the conversation, then you give them a compliment, a genuine compliment. Oh my gosh, your eye makeup looks amazing. I got to hand you this. You'd be so great at what I do. Have you ever thought of being your own boss? I'd love to send you some quick info if you don't mind giving me your cell phone number. You know, how easy is that? So, or don't even have business cards and just ask people for their information, you know. Oh my gosh, I just handed out my last business card, but how about I grab your info? Or Amber Voigt taught me this, and it's genius. If you're with somebody, you know, you're at a play park, you're at your new church, or whatever. Yes, Crystal just wrote this. This is what I was going to say. Add them on Facebook. So you get on their phone. You say, oh, well, are you on Facebook? Everyone's on Facebook. And you say, great, let me have you add me. Let me see your phone. And you go on to Safari or whatever, and you type in your name or you search for your name. It's a lot easier for you to find you than for someone else to find you. And you have them add you as a friend. And then you message them and accept their friend request as soon as you get home. And then maybe comment on their post, give it about 3, 4, 5 days, and then you can add them into your customer group or message them about the opportunity or whatever you were interested in. Okay? Rachel asked, I recently moved to a new area. Would it be worth doing a flyer mailbox drop? You know what? I've never done mass marketing that way, but we're such a relationship business that I honestly think you'll find more success with face-to-face, connecting on social media and things like that. But it's worth a try. I'm not going to say it's nothing. But face-to-face is free, so that's nice. Here are some other quick ideas of things that you can do, and these are from other top leaders as well. So first, make sure you have a VIP group, just like what Crystal was talking about. And you want to add people to that group. You want to have at least 1,000 people in your VIP group. So if you don't, time to start building it, okay? Offer value in there so people are, you know, want to go on there and check out what you're doing. And it doesn't all have to be makeup. You know, add your favorite recipe. Help them choose what dress you're going to wear for your date night out. You know, make it more of a community where it's friends. Add 15 people every day on Facebook. So that means you're sending out friend requests to people that you may not know, but you want to connect with them. So you can join Facebook groups, networking groups. I'm in a part of a lot of buy and sell groups, and if I comment on something that I want to purchase, I send them a friend request. And I know I'm going to have somebody in here that's thinking, whoa, I don't want to add a bunch of strangers on Facebook and have them see pictures of my family. So I'm going to tell you to be sensible, okay? I'm adding people that are moms. I can see pictures on their timeline of their kids. You know, they're selling tables and things like that. Or I belong to a piano teachers group. You know, things like that. These are not, you know, I kind of stalk the people I add as friends. So I make sure I'm not adding, you know, weirdos or whatever. But these tips come from Kylie Riegler, I think is how you say her last name. You guys, and she's really close to hitting Black Status 1. She has like 6 Black Status leaders under her. So these do work. Add 5 people into your VIP group every day. So you're adding people as friends, you're commenting on their posts, you're getting to know them, and then not right away because you don't want to act spammy, but eventually add them into your VIP group and say it's casual. Everything's casual. Hey, by the way, you know, I thought I'd go ahead and add you to my makeup group. Feel free to check it out. I share tips on there. It's tons of fun and deals, and let me know what you think. Just keep it casual. Keep cash and carry with you, okay? Let's see, what else did I write? I wrote down some notes. One-on-ones, messages. Okay, and then with your wall, this is just my personal opinion. This is what works for me. Attraction marketing is a real thing, but it takes time to build. It takes time to get trust with people. So in the meantime, realize that if you post something on your wall, people are not going to be flooding to you with how do I purchase that, how do I purchase that. You need to be reaching out to people. Do not wait for sales to come to you. I'm a very firm believer in that, okay? Holly mentioned that she messages people that like her posts, that comment on her posts. She doesn't post her website there and just cross her fingers and hope people come to her website. She's actively getting a relationship with them, talking with them, asking questions about, you know, what products they might be interested in, those kinds of things. So if you are waiting and sitting at your desk and waiting for people to come to you, it's going to be a long time before people start coming to you. So don't wait. Start messaging people. If everybody on your Facebook feed and your Facebook friends list does not know that you do Younique, if you've never sent them a message, send them a message. And it doesn't have to be salesy. You can just let your friends know what you're doing. You don't have to ask for a sell. You don't have to ask them to join or even host if you don't want to. But you should go through and say, hey, just thought I'd let you know, if you're out, in case you know anybody, here's what I started doing and I'm really excited about it. I'd love for you to check it out. If that's the very least thing that you do with somebody, then when they are thinking about makeup or they think about Younique, hopefully they'll come back to you because they'll hear about Younique from somebody else. And as far as price, I do want to talk about this really quick and then we'll just finish up because I'm like Crystal. Once I start talking, I just talk and talk and talk. You guys would never know I'm like super shy and quiet. So one thing about price, because I hear this comment quite a bit, especially like on our groups and from people that are, I think, a little bit newer. Price is something that is a fluid concept. And what I mean by that is one person might think something for $30 is really expensive. And you could go the same exact day and talk to somebody else and they would be like, oh my gosh, what a deal. I had this experience in my last business. We had books, memory keeping books, and we had a book that was a 12 by 12 for $80. And I had people all the time to tell me, oh my gosh, $80, I'm at $80. And I remember I had this lady saying, oh my gosh, what a deal. That's so cheap, $80 for all that. So it's all relative. If you believe that something is expensive and people can't afford it, then you will push that perception onto the people around you and you will not offer it. So you have to get that out of your mind. And the way that people are okay with price is if the value is higher than what they're paying. And I'll give you a weird, let's see, that's a good example. I just bought something recently. Well, okay, a couple things. I went on Amazon. My daughter needs a navy dress. She has to have a navy dress for a wedding that we're going to. And right now, the price is irrelevant to me. I mean, I won't spend like $100, but it's irrelevant because I need it. I need it, I want it, I need it to have, I need to have it. If I hear someone recommending something that's just fabulous, it's going to up the value in my mind, which is why sharing works more than selling. So if you want to help someone see the value in a product, you need to show them the benefits of the product, not just a picture or a graphic of the product because that does nothing for them. You need to show them how it covers up things, how it feels great, how it stays on their face, because if it solves a problem for them, guess what? The value just went up. They're going to want to pay more because the value just went up. So increase the value on the products and people won't have a problem paying for them at all. And our pricing is awesome, you guys, so no worries. Oh, Lori got the timer off. That's okay. So, all right. Well, I didn't want to go too long. That's about 45 minutes. It's a little longer than I wanted to. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a giveaway. So here I have my good friend from my past business actually does a vinyl business. And she made, I don't know if it's going to show it backwards, but these say 3D mascara on board. Super cute. Again, another great way to have people just see that you are with Younique because they recognize that this is with Younique now. And then obviously you're going to keep someone on board with you as well. So I'm just going to go through and pick somebody. I'll just close my eyes for a second. Brianna. Okay, you're our winner. So I actually have a white one and a black one, so you can tell me which one you want, okay? Thanks you guys so much for getting on. One thing I'd love for you to do on our team group is share these ideas. If you have success, if you do a one-on-one and it's successful, share it. Something that you're doing is going to help somebody else that might be struggling, and we can all learn from each other. So thanks you guys so much for getting on. Really quick plugs. This is the last month for earning the incentive trunk. 20,000 points. I don't care where you're at. If you want to earn it, you can. This is probably the last month to get convention tickets. So if you haven't gone to convention, you want to make money with Younique, you need to go to convention. It's like a must. They had less than 500 tickets the last time they announced it. I don't know how many they have now, but it's on your website. All the information's on your website under convention. And then the kudos, make sure you guys are totally plugging the kudos because it's an awesome deal. We were selling it before anyways, and now they get, what was it, like 40 bucks off or something? I think someone told me they worked it out. So these are our This is pretty much mostly what I sold last month was foundation and foundation brushes. So go for it, you guys. All right. I hope tonight was helpful. I hope I took a bunch of notes. Hopefully you guys too. And yeah. Oh, Booking Blitz. Oh my gosh. Duh. Okay. Here's what I want you guys to do. Tonight, tomorrow. So like almost 24 hours, a little bit more. I want you to fill your calendar. And I don't care what kind of event that is. Online parties, home parties, one-on-ones. You have to be in front of people, whether that's online or in person. Your wall profile does not count. Okay, online, in-person, home parties. I want you to book as many as you can. There's all sorts of great tips on our files. I'll post some more that you guys can read through. It's different scripts on wording on what to say. We didn't really cover that off a lot tonight. You can go through people that are having their birthdays that are coming up on Facebook. You can say, hey, let's throw a birthday bash. The biggest thing I can say is don't ask, don't beg. Just tell people, hey, hop on, or hop on. Sorry, someone messaged me. You can say, you just tell people what to do. Hey, let's throw, hey, you're going to buy this. We might as well just start a party link for you and share it with your friends. Let's do a beauty class. Hey, I'm booking beauty classes. I have this day and this day open. I mean, there's so many different ways you can say it. It's just a matter of messaging enough people. So, all right. And then I'll have a post where you guys can post and comment on what you get booked. Okay? All right. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.